Hello again, model kit builders. Today we're going to do the cross silhouette of the Nightingale. And I think this is my favorite Gundam design, possibly. Either that or maybe the Camphor or the Zegok. It's hard to say. I like the Zeon suits. This thing came out in 2018. And let's see here. You're gonna have some removable funnels. The eye can move. It's got a shield, the Mega Beam rifle. I'm not sure if it's gonna, it does say changing proportions, so I guess it contains both frames. The SD frame and the cross silhouette frame, which is a little bit taller. Okay, so that's what's going on there. And then just, if you really love the Nightingale like I do, I noticed this image. It's really shiny and cool. But that price is extremely prohibitive, but it's gonna come out early next year. It's one of these, Bandai premiums, and so it looks pretty awesome, but I think it's going to be huge. I mean, for this kind of money, I'm sure that's going to be 1/44 scale or bigger, which I don't even have room. Even if that thing was, well, I guess if someone gave it to me for free, I'd keep it, but I can't, I don't have room for big things. So this being a small version, hopefully I do have room for this. So let's see what's going on here. Out. Pretty simple manual. Yeah, it's actually in color. Unexpected. Oh, well, over here is black and white. So there are all the runners and what parts should be there. So if you want to quickly check that, you can, you know, when you buy this thing. And then it basically just shows you with images how to put it together, so you don't really need to read even. Although this does have English in there, and obviously Japanese, because Bandai is a Japanese company. And there we go. I think we're going to have stickers, though. I'm not a fan of stickers, but this is a toy. So there's actually some stats on the Nightingale here. This is a 22.5 meter tall robot. Yeah, but this is deformed, so I don't know what scale this would be considered. Tear it apart the old way. Yeah, so there we have some stickers. I don't know. I might have to see if I have some decals or something that could be better used, because these borders are really strange. I mean, this red, if you don't paint, let's see if it even matches that red of the body later. This white looks pretty good. It doesn't look too cheap. It's got that shininess of plastic though. Yeah, that's looking. You can see the weird mixing of the plastic and the mold there with that line. So I'm gonna have to paint this, I think. It's basically the case with almost all model kits. Almost all of them should be painted if you don't want to see the weird molding issues. This one literally has some scratches on it. And look, yeah, that's got a lot of scratches. Strange. Alright, well, that red, let's see if the sticker red matches this red in the event that you don't want to paint it. It's actually a pretty close match, I would say. So that's a good thing. So you don't technically need to paint it if you don't want to, but I like this model, or I like this design so much that I think I will paint it. In fact, I might try to go for that super shiny one with the premium Bandai one. I guess there's not much else to see here, but let's look at these big parts. Yeah, see that line? It's just a weird how the plastic met each other, I think, in the mold, so I don't like it. If this is supposed to be like a really weather-beaten vehicle, then I guess that's cool, but oh, look at this, man. What is up with that? This thing is all scratched up. Like, that should have never happened, right? Like, what the heck, man? It looks like that's not cool. I want this to look really chromed and pimped out. Oddly, I can't tear this one apart easily. This is the cross silhouette part. Frames. It looks like it's only one frame to me. And then why is this thruster randomly packed in here? But it is over. Alright, never mind, it's over there. Here's that mono eye, so it's a translucent green, so that's cool. And it looks like I only have one silhouette frame. So I don't know why that box is a bit misleading. And this one says CS, so I assume it's the taller of the frames. Or maybe, yeah, I don't see how you can make the short version. So as usual, I think I shall maybe fast forward this, put it to some music, and then we'll get to the end and I'll actually review the thing. We are back after 3-4 days of model making. If I had to guess, this probably took over 30 hours to make. It's crazy because I had to paint it several times. So in fact, I did paint it all, mostly except for the white tubes, Vallejo Primer Black, and then I painted Glorious Gold over that. And then I painted two different transparent reds. One is the Vallejo Clear Red, which is this darker one. The other one is a Citadel Angron red, I believe, but it's really orange. It looks red in the bottle, but over gold it turns out being orange. But I purposely wanted to have a couple different colors going on, so. And then I clear coated it lightly, and then I went and added all the paint details, the silver and black and all that stuff. And then I decaled the thing, and then I clear coated over all that stuff as well. So I clear coated it twice, actually more than twice, because I kept on getting orange peel, and you can still see like orange peel here. But here it's pretty smooth, on the head is pretty smooth. It's really hard to try to get it to set smooth. I'm using Rattle Can for the clear, because I find that Vallejo clear isn't very durable. So spray can clear is much more durable. But you got to put it on really lightly because it might peel up the decals, or it might actually react with the paint. So you got to put it on a really thin coat first, let it dry, do that a few times, and then you can dump it on after the first layers are dry. So again, it took a long time. I don't have any of the stickers that came with the thing because they're just going to peel off, right? So I had a two 1/44 scale sheets. One is for Nightingale, the other is a Sinanju, because I ran out of the Nightingale decals. So a lot of these gold accents you see are actually for Sinanju, but it works. You know, a lot of technically that emblem is not the exact emblem. You know, this is more like it, but I ran out of decals, and I looked on AliExpress. There are no more for Nightingale right now. First immediate thing about this model kit is it doesn't want to stand. It's always rubbing the nose here and the tail here, and the feet are almost, they're barely touching. So it's a shame that they didn't design the feet a little bit taller so it could actually stand up off this thing. It comes with this kickstand, but I don't even know why they would even have it, because you could never pose this thing on the kickstand. It would be like maybe it's meant to fly or something on the ground like that. So what else here? Articulation, standard cross silhouette stuff. So here in the arms you got this ball peg, and then there's a ball peg here to the bicep, and that's just one. You know, that could rotate. There's a lot of paint, so I don't want to rotate it. It's also colliding with itself. And then the ball peg for the hand. This shield is so close, it's colliding with this thing very often. Even though I have the mount canted forward as much as I can. So be mindful of that. Yeah, it's all the clear coat's making all the holes really tight. I guess I'll put the gun in. I added some details here. The gun is two pieces, this little side thing, but oddly it has a casting recess, so I just put some blue marker in there and some pink marker and some jewel beads. I drilled out the barrel and put in an orange bead. So it's a really colorful gun. Alright, so that pops in here. Let's see if it collides with the arm. Take the hand off. So there's so much clear coat, I think, on this gun that's proving, yeah, once I pull that out it's going to be scratched, but I'm always going to display it with the rifle anyway, so it's fine. Alright, so yeah, you're going to collide a lot with the shoulder armor and stuff, but it's good enough. It's out vertically, so that's cool. And then you can start seeing I have a bunch of jewel beads. I crazy glued them all in here. The yellow ones are fluorescent. These bluish ones are just normal. If you wanted to make your thrusters more evenly painted, you would probably paint this whole part yellow first, and then mask it off with some putty, and then paint the rest of it metallic or something. But I chose to leave it as it is. Then I painted silver inside of here, then yellow on top of that. And you can see it looks very weathered because of it, because I used a paintbrush and not an airbrush. So it looks like it's a, used thruster. So that's actually intentional. Let's see, here's the bottom of the feet. They're totally hollowed out, of course. And you can see I have a lot of the orange on the bottom sides. Because I don't care. I don't display them upside down. But then the top is the actual red of the Vallejo red. Some decal work again. This one is very orange peely, although I painted it several times trying to smooth it out, get a nice thick clear on it, but I just gave up after a while, after 30 hours. Oh, another thing. This model kit, these things are emptied out to save on money. Or maybe to make the pieces cool down properly. But they just look really weird just to have these hollowed out when they're so visible. So these are 3D printed parts. And if you really love this model kit, you can look it up, Nightingale, on Shapeways, Gundam Nightingale. You'll probably find the listing. I have them for sale. There's just 3 of them. But you got to cut out, there's 2 ribs here where these lines are. You got to cut those out so then you can recess this thing as far down as you want. So it's supposed to be like thruster, well, just venting really for these tanks. That's the intention of the design there. Yeah, 3 thrusters back there, but really this is one of the few designs that actually looks better from the back or the bottom than the front or the top. Because look at this, it's just crazy, all these thrusters. That's why I like this Nightingale. It's so over the top. It's really weird. Yeah, the missiles here, or the funnels, can come out, but they look pretty crude. They're just square, so I'm going to leave them in there. I don't need to make a diorama. The head obviously will articulate, but not, it's on a ball peg. But all my joints are really tight because they're clear coated. And that mono eye as well will rotate. Maybe the light's getting in there. But I just have it kind of straightforward. Oh boy, what else? I think that's it. I mean, I could have probably seamed, filled in the seam here, but this is good enough for me. Yeah. Oh, and also, one other issue I had was my own airbrush compressor. It's got nothing to do with the model kit. I was painting in a really humid evening, and even though my compressor has a water trap, it couldn't deal with the humidity. So a lot of this paint cracked because there's too much water in the paint itself. So I had to paint it again and again. So a lot of time about painting. If I didn't paint this thing, I could have finished this thing in probably 3 hours, or even less, if I just put it together. But it obviously, I think, looks a lot better than just a raw plastic kit. There's actually a little intake, or maybe that's a weapon. I'm not sure, but I have that painted gold in there. There's a sticker that's supposed to go in there, but there's no way that's going to look nice, so I painted it. So you can have articulation, but the thing is just so squat and so deformed. Look, I mean, everything is just colliding with itself, so I guess it's better than having no articulation. But my main gripe is really, the thing won't stand. See, look, it's just resting on the front and the back, and this foot is just floating. And sadly, it's poorly designed. This hole here is so shallow that you couldn't really use a stand for that. You have to drill that out first, and then you can, put a long peg in there. In fact, I might do that anyways. Yeah, let me go do that. Hold on. So the other Nightingale I have right now is the Converge one, and this one I added jewels as well. This orange ones and some decals as well. So I'll just hold it next to this thing. So you'll see it's maybe around 60% the size, maybe. Although width-wise, yeah, still. It's quite a different design entirely. You can see the funnels here are much longer. This one has some strange ribs on the funnel carriers. And yeah, it's just a different deformation entirely. Totally different people did these things, so. Alright, it's still cool, but this obviously has more articulation. So, yeah, I know there's other Nightingales, so I'm not going to build a 144. That thing is huge. And I'm not going to buy that other one we saw earlier because that thing's just expensive and probably huge. Alright, well, yeah, I'm really happy I went through the tortuous paint process of this because I intend to keep this for quite a while. I really enjoyed this mobile suit design. It was pretty straightforward build, nothing complex, nothing too confusing, just pay attention to the pictures and the instructions. The only gripe again is just it doesn't stand really well, but it does. If you drill out the peg hole, this is a standard Gundam base, so you can use that and have a more dynamic pose. Thank you for watching today. I'll see you in the next Gundam related video.